What are we doing?
Today we're
I mean,
doing
what are we doing? Okay.
moving action drawing. So I'll pop this bigger. And so week by week, I've been introducing the different new exercises in whatever our drawing schedule are. So this week, week 6, happens to be a week where we start with a 5-minute warm-up, then do a 10-minute, and then finally a longer 15-minute exercise. So
that memory drawing, when you were doing memory drawings, you were doing them 1 minute each.
right. And so, well, so with the memory drawing, what we were doing was three models that we would look at for 10 seconds at a time, and then draw for about a minute per pose or until you just ran out of steam. Now, if you were going to be doing that for the exercises, then you would do that for as long as your timer was set. So that would be, 15 minutes if it was a 15-minute time chunk, or 10. So what I do is I'll just set my alarm for about 15 minutes and do the exercise over and over again until it goes off. So kind of fill it in.
Drawing over and over again?
Yeah, so you would do that same process of looking at 3 models for 10 seconds and then drawing for a few minutes until 15 minutes was up, if it was up.
Not the same 3 models.
No, not the same 3 models, not necessarily. And that was a good one. When I was out in the square, I really had the perfect opportunity because people would stay still for about 10 seconds, and then I just had to go for it. So drawing from life is a whole different game.
Yeah, are you a life drawer from before?
Oh yeah, I've definitely done a lot of figure drawing classes and drawing out about town. But I think I've just gotten used to using the line of action website, since that's what we've been working with, and to go from the 2D screen to seeing the 3-dimensional people and really just having that one opportunity to look at them and then they would be gone forever. It made it a little bit more high stakes, so it was invigorating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now this week, for week 6, the only new drawing exercise that we haven't gone over before is the moving action exercise. So if you follow the schedule, that would be you'd be starting with that on day 2. But what we're going to do in our call is go over how to do moving drawing and practice it. And after practicing it once or twice, I'll send you on your way to go have a wonderful week of drawing.
Okay.
So as always, when you're in the course, if you go to week 6, that's this week, you can click the drawing schedule to download your own version and print it off if you can, so you can cross out day by day where you're at. And here at the bottom, we've got the lesson on moving action drawing. And our quote from Nicolaides this week is, "To stick to the spirit and style of a quick gesture study." So we're starting out a little bit looser, and he says that in the future this might be a style that you would like to spend more time on, but when you're getting used to it, that we can treat it like a gesture drawing. I'm so excited about this one. So whenever you're drawing moving action, since we don't have a real life model, we are going to be using GIFs. So it's a little different than how we've gone in the past, but if you scroll down in this lesson, you're going to see all of these different moving action poses that you can choose from. And each of the videos just goes once, but if you decide that you find one that you really like, let's see, here's this guy, just a repeated motion over and over again. If you like that one, then you can click the link underneath it, and that one will repeat over and over and over again. And that's what you would be doing in the art classroom with Nicolaides, is the live model would be repeating their gesture over and over again. And we draw the 2 extremes of the pose. So I'll show you a couple more examples of that.
What is this site?
So this is in our course with the natural way to draw, and I just loaded onto the lesson page here several different images, the GIF images that have a little repeated movement over and over again. So we get a little bit of a preview of what each of these will be. Oh, hey.
Hi, sorry.
Hey, Linda. Glad you could join us. No worries.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's been crazy again here.
Oh, yeah. It happens. Let me see if I can get your video up. I am just introducing moving action drawing, which we're going to be doing today. And so when we talk about moving action, instead of drawing from the single image of the nude model like we have been on Line of Action, we're going to be drawing from these little videos that repeat over and over again. So these are called GIFs. And when we find one that we like, and I'll show you again, Linda, how to navigate to where we're at right now. But say you find one that you like, you click the little link underneath it, and it will take you to the GIF, the repeated little video, and it will just keep going on repeat over and over and over again. And that is going to be our model for these moving action poses. So kind of.
Are we trying to draw her in one movement, or are we trying to like capture the whole movement thing? Or?
Yeah, so great question. You're going to be drawing at least 2 of her positions. So
I see. Okay.
This is the example from Nicolaides, and
That's so wonderful, though.
isn't it cool? Yeah, when I saw this, I was so excited.
I don't think I could do that, but anyway, I mean, that's
you just wait.
beautiful. Yeah.
So this, of course, is a charcoal. And here's a great example, is this gentleman here. And so in the instructions, what Nicolaides recommends that you do is that when you start your drawing, you start with the part of the body that is more or less stationary. So the part of the body that isn't really changing. So here you can see this model is sort of crouched down a little bit and reaching up and down. Whenever the artist would begin, he might start with the legs because the legs aren't moving. So you don't have to draw 2 sets of legs. Just draw 1 set of legs, and then at the extremes of the posture, you draw what is different about the position. So he says in the beginning, we can start with just 2 poses, going very loose, treat it as a gesture drawing. And whenever you get more comfortable with it, you might even add a 3rd pose. And what this reminds me of is animation. If you think about how in a old-fashioned Disney animation, they have to draw every little frame. We don't have to do that, thank goodness, but we're drawing the 2 extremes of the position. So superimposing more or less the 2 extreme positions that the model is making on top of each other. So, and let me show you again really quick how we got to this page. So I'm here in the course, 9 weeks with the natural way to draw. So if I was in the 10 steps to drawing, you see that purple bar at the top. I go to courses, view course, 9 weeks. And we are here at week number 6. You can download your drawing schedule here, Linda. And by scrolling down to the bottom, you get to our moving action lesson. And this is going to be an important one to remember because we've got these great poses, and this is going to be your pose library. Now, if you like, I did also say include a link when it says how to draw moving action. You can click yoga mood GIFs here.
Oh, cool.
And it'll take you to a whole lot more of these things, and you can kind of find any position you like.
Bring up a dogwood facing dog.
Let's see. This guy? What this one would look like. So this is what we're going to do. And if you're still not quite sure how this works, we'll get a chance to just jump in and give it a go. Let's see. These don't seem to be loading. And then we'll check in with each other and see how it went.
So
Let's see,
how
Here she
we're
goes.
gonna do 1 minute of drawing? How are we gonna do this?
A great question. I think now typically in the class you would set the timer for 15 minutes. I think if we give ourselves about 2 minutes to draw, then that ought to be enough, because it's really like we're doing two gesture drawings, the two extreme positions, and so we'll want to do at least 2 minutes. So we'll try 2 minutes and we'll see how that feels.
Okay.
Just I have a problem here. I got my video going, but the Zoom page, so I can see you, I can see Diane, I can see me, but then the screen just says host your own Zoom meeting, get your account for free, sign up, it's free.
So that probably is on the other browser that popped up.
Okay. I'm sorry, I found it.
Yeah.
You're right.
Find this one. Cool.
I've got it. I see the pictures.
Okay, so we'll start with, gosh, do y'all have a preference on which yoga pose?
No.
All right. How about just the first one?
With one color outfit.
A one color outfit. Let's see if we can find, she's got all black.
Yeah.
So let's do her.
Too many colors.
Okay, and I'm going to zoom her in just a little bit. All right, so what we're doing is we're going to choose two of the positions that she's in. So maybe that one right there where her head is as far down as it goes. That would be one. And then your other pose might be here now that her head is all the way up.
Okay.
But if you decide you want to choose a different, slightly different moment, that's fine too. But I would say the two extreme positions will be the easiest. I'm setting the alarm for 2 minutes.
Okay. Yeah.
And we're going to treat this just like a gesture drawing. So grabbing that movement, just keeping it nice and loose and fresh. So, all right, if everybody's got your pen, 2 minutes begins now.
Wild.
Oh my, okay, gosh, that was 2 minutes, which I don't know about you, but 2 minutes feels a little short for that. So maybe we'll try it again with a little more time in a moment here. How did that feel? What'd y'all think?
Let's see yours.
Right. Oh, let me turn the screen share off so
Yeah,
you can see me here.
see what you got.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
So
Exactly like mine.
let me see, I'm gonna pop your video up. Oh, can you hold it back just a little bit? Oh yeah, awesome. Yeah,
Why
that's,
is it reversed? Is it
um,
reversed?
I think it's just the kind of mirror effect of the camera.
Okay.
I'm not sure. How about you, Linda? Oh, let me get your video all big. There we go. Oh yeah, can you go up a tiny bit? Yeah, very nice.
We were all seeing it like the same way.
Yeah, I think so.
This way.
Yeah, so I think the challenge for me, I don't know about you guys, but what I found myself noticing is that I wanted to draw only one pose at a time,
Yeah.
and I had to keep waiting for the girl to move into the right
Yeah.
position. But then I started to notice, for example, where her hand was going was really where the head ended up at the end. And so maybe if I try just drawing that same space next time, maybe I'm gonna have to keep experimenting with this because I don't know if it would work or not, but I have some different approaches that are coming to mind that I would sort of like to play with.
Just
It's
have a question.
Yes.
On the assignments for this week where it says gesture, is that where you want us to do this kind of?
No, it's only where you see moving. It says moving. And so there's two of them in the 15-minute sections.
Okay.
And yeah, here on day 2 and day 4. But you know what? If you really love moving, it's still kind of a gesture drawing. So you could do that for your gesture drawings. How about we give it a go one more time, ladies? Do one more. And this time I'm going to put 3 minutes on the clock.
Oh, goody.
Yeah, that felt rushed. I was a
The
child.
hard part is that but you don't have a reference for the second pose. You have her folded, and like you said, the head is where the hand was, and you don't have long enough to catch that reference. I mean, just for the proportion for the second drawing is
You mean because she keeps moving?
harder. Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna. Not sure. I guess we're gonna get used to it. But you know what I really like about this is that it is encouraging us to think about movement in a whole new way and actually, show that time sort of stop. It goes back to that Muybridge guy that we brought up ages ago, the one that does the little flash photography of horses moving and a little bit like an animation. It's kind of interesting. So I'll go ahead and share the screen so we can see our model once again. Get this out of here. All right, so this time, let's do a different person. I think this one is going to be a lot easier. So, yeah. Let's get him going.
That man's pose. You really do?
He's doing his, let's see. Y'all still see that all right? Great. So it's a much more subtle difference, but he's still got an extreme difference in that chest pop. So let's give it a whirl.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Got 3 minutes on the clock, and 3 minutes begins now.
Yeah.
And I just found myself not doing this, but he encourages us to start with the stationary part of the body that doesn't move. Don't start with the part that moves. Duh.
Oh, right. I forgot that.
Me too.
That's amazing what the chest does, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That is. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh.
Yeah, maybe these will inspire me to do some yoga.
No. Inspired me to get in my chair. It's real subtle. Dang, I hope there's another 3 minutes left.
One more minute.
Oh, be good to me. Gotta do another one or two of these, yeah? This is like,
I don't know.
Yeah,
This
this is one guy.
3 minutes.
no. This is too subtle. Way too subtle. The biggest movement is the head,
Mm-hmm.
and he's got the range.
And that is time. You know, I think I'm going to come back and keep drawing him.
For a long time.
Yeah, these are all like, this reminds me, let me stop the share. Thank you, sir, for modeling. Okay.
It's creepy. My drawing.
Doesn't it remind you of like a spirit leaving the body?
Yeah, there's something very corpse-like.
It's
Corpse.
interesting because right now I feel like if I'm not darker, maybe I can come in with a heavier line on some of the different parts that are close to each other. Otherwise, I feel like there's no definition. It's a little too scribbly. But
Yeah. He did the one he had the black and with the moving parts. So quickly do that.
yeah, who else? Who's next? Okay, here I've got Linda. Let me grab your. Oh wow, great job! Yeah.
Well, you know, I think that the way in which this is going to help me
Mm-hmm.
is in the loosening up thing, you know, because instead of like zeroing in on this one thing and then getting, you know, really tight and everything, and my goal, believe it or not, is to loosen up. And this just absolutely forces me, you know, plus the whole visual memory thing. This is like the next step in forcing the visual memory.
That's so true. And Diane was saying that I told her, oh, maybe you can skip to this week. And she said, no, I think he's got a reason for the order. And you're so right, Linda, because if I hadn't been practicing those flash 10-second memorizations, I don't know if I would be as good with this right now. So it's a pretty darn fascinating set up this structure so that we're kind of grabbing one rung of the ladder after the other and just perfectly prepared. And Diane, can we see yours?
Yeah. Scare yourselves.
Ooh, whoa. So interesting.
It might get his jaw.
I had
jaw.
that.
And the size of his head was so amazing.
Yeah, that was a really fascinating pose.
That one was kind of too subtle, I think.
Yeah, you like the bigger differences? I was debating between posting in the group more or less um, extreme differences. So what I would recommend if you uh, would like to find some of your own moving action models, you could look at videos, or if you happen to see anybody doing some kind of repetitive task. So in the book, he says if you see someone like chopping lumber or a woman hanging clothes on the laundry, you can tell the book was written a long time ago. Because I don't see people doing that so much.
GIFs of horses.
But
Horses.
I bet there are a lot of GIFs of horses out there.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, the invention of GIFs is so perfect for this, as far as like being able to get that same two poses back and forth. So anything that you think would be interesting to do, if you can find a GIF of it, that ought to do it for you as your model. So I'd be excited to see what you come up with if y'all are on the hunt for your own GIFs.
might be good to do Tai Chi.
Ooh, yeah.
Go on and on and on.
Like some of those. And I think they might even have some Tai Chi classes in town here in San Miguel. So I might have to go stand around and draw them. That would be a fun one.
Yeah.
So any questions about the other types of drawings that we're going to be doing this week, the model or the memory drawing? How's that been going for you, Linda, the memory drawing?
Nothing. All week I've just been sick. And
Oh, I'm sorry to hear
I'm
that.
glad I got canceled out of your class because I would not have been able to do it. And I'm not sure I'm going to make it tomorrow morning. I hope I'll be well enough, but I seem to have had a relapse going here.
Yeah, well, take care of yourself. That's always number one. Yeah, so I'm glad to see you're well enough to be on the call at least.
Yeah, well, classes help me feel like at least I'm doing something normal.
Awesome. Well, it's great to see your face. And Diane, to have you back.
San Miguel. I next time I see how long are you in town for?
2 months. So I've got to run out of town for a quick training next week. So next time y'all see me, I'm going to be coming to you from Portland, Oregon. That'll be kind of fun. But then after that, I'm here for all July. So we'll definitely see each other, Linda.
Do you want me to send you notifications of Tai Chi classes or no, not really?
Oh, yeah. I would love that. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Any other thoughts or questions or?
Model drawing.
Mm-hmm.
This is a combination of the weight drawing and a contour drawing.
A cross contour. Exactly.
Your first, and I haven't done one of them yet.
Okay.
And I guess the first thing is you make the wire thing within, or you find the middle. I'm so confused.
Yeah. Well, what I've been doing is I'll take like an H pencil, something a little bit lighter, and I will start by using the, flat part of the lead so that I'm getting a wide mark, not a fine line. And when I do a weight drawing, let me find one here to show you pure weight. This is what they end up looking like. Spotlight this so y'all can see it. It's no real lines at all in the very first bit. Diane?
So this is where you're putting the flesh on the wire frame, yes?
Yeah, that's the idea. He says to imagine that there's a wire frame and that the graphite that we're adding is like you are adding clay onto a wire frame. Now, I haven't been drawing the wire frame part like I usually do in, say, a gesture drawing with a clear line, but it sort of happens. It's the first thing that I'm starting with because that tends to be where the weight of the drawing is. Like, she was sitting back here on her feet, so that ended up being darker because I kept coming back to the area where I saw the weight. Or if there was a big element, so she had large breasts, so that and ended up getting darker and darker. But the darkness and lightness doesn't have to do with the light and shadow play on the figure. It just has to do about where the weight of the structure of the form is. The difference.
But it begins to read like light and shadow. I mean, she's translucent.
Yeah, no, I guess it doesn't. But I had to personally fight against my
That's the problem.
inherent.
Yeah, that's the
Right?
problem I had with this. I'm so used to looking for the lights and the darks based on the shadows, and then to try to think of it in terms of the mass.
Yes, exactly. And I didn't realize how deeply embedded that was in my drawing, repertoire. So it was pretty cool. I think what's interesting about some of his exercises is he, like we were saying in the beginning, forces you out of that comfort zone, and you're doing something in a way you never normally would, and you see what your process is in the first place. So this is, of course, just a regular cross contour drawing. And so if I were to take,
That's lovely, Jessica.
I love the cross contour drawing, but you put them together and you get something like this.
Oh, yeah.
So this one, I started with just the weight drawing and maybe spent, I think this was a 10-minute or 15-minute drawing. I only spent maybe 4 minutes or so on the weight drawing, which was great because then I had my proportions in. I knew more or less where the limbs would be, and I could go back and do the cross contour over that and bring out the actual figure and make it look like something and not just a big blob.
But I don't understand what you're doing with your life. I mean, don't you want to take
your drawings from the Hardin down to it?
Don't you want to take that cross contour drawing and frame it and sell it? Or I mean, you're doing all these gorgeous drawings in your sketchbook, but they look like they should be for sale.
I guess this is my learning zone, and now that I have these techniques in my toolkit, so to speak, then maybe I would do something on a canvas or do a larger drawing.
I was so upset because I did that one on I'm sorry, I'm trying to decline this incoming call and it's not declining. But, I did that one on just, messy sketch paper. And then it was like, oh my God, this is one of the best ones I've done. If I had only done it on a nice.
Right.
So, but then I look at yours that are like so fabulous. So many of these look like they would be saleable.
I guess I'm giving myself space to just learn the techniques first, because otherwise I think if I was starting on a drawing with the expectation that I would want to sell it or it was on this fancy paper.
Well, you don't have to start with that expectation. You do it on, this is just for practice, but I'm going to use nice paper just in case there's a happy accident.
I'll keep that in mind. I really would like to have a show sometime this year, so yeah, I'll be thinking about that. Well, ladies, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go unless we have any other questions or thoughts about the week coming up.
Back in the day when we were all writers and doing our journals, one of the ladies said that your journal is where you keep your potato peels and your potato au gratin.
And wait, what was the end of it?
Serve the potato au gratin. You've got your potato peels here.
Uh-huh.
When you put it on the canvas, that's what you're serving.
And, there you go. I like that. That's
except that when it's a written journal, see, you can go back and you can take some of those potato peels out and put them in the book that you're going to serve to the public. And so I don't know, Jessica, if you could take like good paper and glue it onto the back and then frame it or whatever. But anyway, I feel like I could buy you a sketchbook that's got like, archival quality paper in it or something.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh gosh, and then there are especially urban sketchers and the type of artists who do travel sketching. So they're working in a book where they'll fill up the entire book with page after page of the most gorgeous, could be frame sketches. And then they'll sell the finished sketchbook for a small fortune.
Well,
But
there you go.
yeah,
There you go. You could
that's
do that too. You could do that.
another possibility.
Too many missing pages, too many erasures.
Right.
Half of it
Yeah, the
torn away.
process is interesting too. Maybe one day it'll be in the Museum of Just Antonelli. People can see the improvement. But that's one thing I love about the sketchbook too, is I can definitely see the improvement of my gesture drawings and everything. Just okie dokie. Well, I will see you in the membership group. Let me know if y'all have any questions or thoughts or anything as the drawing week goes on. And I'll be coming to you next Tuesday from Portland, Oregon.
Thanks, Jessica.
I'll
Thank
say,
you.
oh, see it.
Appreciate y'all joining the call.
It was
Bye.
great. Thank you.
No, than you.